Nice. Thank you. I was hoping that I wouldn't do that.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So, hello everybody. This is Roham. While my slides are coming, I would like to introduce myself a bit. Yes, I'm the one with the long last name. Thank you for trying to pronounce it right. My last name is Malekzadehbagheri, and my name is Roham. That's something that you shouldn't care. But I would like to introduce myself first. Who am I that I'm here? I came to Finland as a student 4 years ago. And during this time, of course, I was trying to get the business administration for the reason that I had a dream to be an entrepreneur, and I thought that I have to learn, from the scratch and all the fundamentals. As I said, I've been here only for 4 years, but more than half of that I have worked for the Finnish government for 2 years and a half. And of course currently working for the private sector. But if someone would have told me that I would be able to work for the government in Finland, even though I'm coming as a student, it wouldn't even be a funny joke to me. So how I did it is the question. And the other question is that based on the fact that I have received 5 job offers in Finland and got the jobs without applying to them. So it has a direct relation with personal branding that I want to take you with myself through this journey that I have been through. So, the beginning. I moved to Finland in November 2020. Came to Savonia. As I said, I had the dream to be an entrepreneur. Then, of course, I had a 1-year-old daughter and a wife coming to Finland in the darkest time, and the culture, language, system, laws, all of them were as dark for me, as unclear for me as November, because it's the darkest time of the year, I suppose. So this wasn't the only problems. The struggle just began. So I had this thought that, okay, with no degree, with no relevant experience, and without knowing the Finnish language, how am I going to put the food on the table for my family? And that was quite stressful, and it brought me anxiety. Then I had, of course, self-doubt. I thought that, okay, what am I going to offer to the employer? How am I going to sell myself? I don't even know my own skills. And I'm here to study business. I'm a student. What can I do? So the only option for me was to go through blue-collar jobs such as newspaper delivery and cleaning and so forth. So of course I started to work as a newspaper delivery and cleaning. So I was a bachelor student back then. Imagine from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. I was studying. From 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. I was doing the cleaning, and then on weekends and some weekdays I had to do this newspaper delivery job, and also I had family duties. So yeah, burnout. Yeah. So it was fully packed. But then I started to come, between 2 options. Should I spend to just learn the language, or is there any other shortcut? Well, of course, the language is very, very important, and I encourage you to learn it, definitely. But also, if I wanted to spend just my time to master the Finnish language, it would have taken me 4 years to be able to speak not even as good as a native. So I said, okay, as Finn says, pikkuhiljaa, little by little does the trick. I said, I will learn the language little by little, but I can spend time to learn the culture. So I started to learn the culture. And then that was my first finding about Finnish working culture. Networking. So, yeah, obvious. But how to do this networking? How to find people? How to talk to them? What do I have to say to them? So I needed to find a reason to speak to people. I needed a reason to go to them. Okay, about this networking, let me clear something first. According to the statistics, 80% of the Finnish business landscape is made of small and medium-sized companies. So imagine you're one person managing the company and trying to take care of everything that is going around of your business. Then you also want to hire someone. You put it online. 100 people might apply to that job. Do you think that as an entrepreneur, do you have the time to read 100 applications and cover letters and then decide and then go through interviews? How many hours it takes from an entrepreneur? No time. So what do? They go to their network and then they say, hey, I want a person in this field. Do you know anybody? And if that person knows, they would recommend. Due to the credibility of that person who had been asked, they trust and they hire. So technically, the majority of the jobs you see online is the 20% of available jobs. 80% of them are not online. Not because they don't want to, but because they don't have the time to process everything. So networking was the key here. So the second, so as I told you, they have to trust this person in their network, and based off that trust, they hire the person. So this comes the second key cultural insight, trust. This is very important in Finland, and that's why I thought that, okay, building network is one thing, building the trust is another. So, as I said, I don't want to repeat myself. So, this is how it goes. Like it or not, most of the jobs are going through networks that they trust. And I knew that my only thing that I should focus now, based on these cultural aspects, is that I have to make network and build trust. Before I go to the next slide, let me share with you a mindset of Roham, the student. I thought, because I don't have relevant experiences, because I don't have that much of, I don't know even my skills, I have to focus on my studies, get a degree at least, a bachelor degree, and then go to the labor market. Little did I know that I was too wrong on this mindset. I will tell you later why. So I had to do a shift. I had to focus on getting, from getting a degree to build this network and trust. That was now the shift that I was going through. And then I reached out to my teachers, seniors, whoever I knew at the school and said, hey, I need an internship. Please, if I don't care if they pay or not, I just want to have a reason to speak to people, to network with people. And then my teacher sent me an email and said that, hey Roham, I recommended you, again, recommendation. I recommended you to this person who is the project manager, so go and talk and maybe you can work for this North Savo Talent Hub. And then that's how I joined my first internship, North Savo Talent Hub. Remember the full time with cleaning, school, newspaper delivery and family. At top of that, I was also working part-time for North Savo Talent Hub project. Burnout. But I didn't burn out, because then during that time I learned how to do the time management, how to manage my time, and most importantly, even though I was very busy, then I was exposed to the Finnish culture and the challenges it brought with it. For example, one thing that I can share with you is that I would be given the objective, and then I should have created my own tasks. Nobody in my own country, there was this micromanaging, that do this, do that, do this, do that. But then here it was just objective. So I learned that I have to actually know what's the goal of the project and try to deliver the results based on the goal, and then define my tasks. For this reason, I had a reason to talk to people, to reach out to people. And to solve the goal, to solve the problem, the project is out there because of a problem. So to solve that problem, I started to come up with different ideas that how can I help international students. Then I came up with the team, of course, that we had. There were interns, so I borrowed an idea, then we developed the idea, then we worked together on that, and I tried to talk with people at public sector as well, at TE-toimisto, at ely-keskus, at Chamber of Commerce, and so forth, at City of Kuopio, and so forth. So I had to sit with key people, the decision makers even. And then during this, I learned a third one, humbleness. So the Finnish culture quite, let's say, embraced the humbleness. It's not about me. Again, it's about the goal of the project. If I'm here standing and I'm sharing my journey, it's not about my journey, it's about what my journey could teach you or could show you the way or give you a new mindset. So I learned this humbleness and I try to bring it. It's not about I. It's about us, the community. And then at the same time, I was trying to post frequently with this goal, with putting this humbleness on top of everything, to post even though I had only 30 people on my LinkedIn. I sat with someone, I posted there, and I tried to bring it from the perspective of the community, the international talents, because I was working for them. So, this idea that we have borrowed with Talent Hub, I have the privilege to have my supervisor also back then, one of the supervisors here. You heard about Eastern Finland Talent Hub. Back then it was North-Savo Talent Hub, and I had the privilege to learn a lot from them as well. So we borrowed a very good event. So it would help the international talents. And the event was creative. It wasn't that much of it in here. I don't want to go about the event, but it got a very well publicity. And then I arrived in 2020, and in 2021 I was already on the cover of Savon Sanomat, the local newspaper. So, yep, 1 year, and I said like, okay, good start, not bad. And it was an unexpected recognition because I went to daycare to take my daughter from the daycare, and the teacher said, hey, I saw you in the news. Then the classmates reached out to me, the Finns even reached out to me and said, hey, good job, you're doing a great job. Teachers even started to talk to me in a different way. And then I was like, okay, this is great, the LinkedIn visibility. But again, don't forget the humbleness. I posted on LinkedIn that it is a great honor for me to be on the cover of local newspaper. It really is, but I will only feel proud when I can read the news that says internationals can land meaningful jobs easily in North-Savo. So again, I didn't talk about my own being on the cover. On LinkedIn, this is from the perspective of personal branding, about the community, about what I'm doing. So, yes, ely-keskus internship came after. Ely-keskus is a governmental organization. And then during the idea phase of this event, and then after the event got viral, I was offered to join ely-keskus as an intern, a 4-month internship. So then I terminated my permanent contract in cleaning. I took the risk because it was a permanent, it was good for my visa when I want to renew it, my resident permit. But I said, okay, this one is paid internship, and I wanna, even though it's 4 months, I will just terminate my permanent, and I will go to this 4 months internship. And I still continue to post on LinkedIn every week, sometimes every day, and LinkedIn grew little by little. But during this time, something better happened. In the coffee times, I used to sit with people in the same building, and I didn't know TE-toimisto, the employment office, the main building is in the same building as Ely-keskus. So I was having coffee every day with a TE-live manager, the broadcasting branch of TE-toimisto. And I had no idea he's in that position. We were just exchanging tablets. So during this process was that when my internship at Ely-keskus ended, I was offered again to join TE-live to be the media producer and host intern. A 5 or 6 month internship started, and it was a new journey for me. I had no experience before that, and then I got to learn. I produced content for working and living in Finland, and it got national visibility. So now my LinkedIn post shifted from North Savo to nationwide. And because of this project's success, I got even higher rate of publicity. I was more seen, but still I had this belief that I'm getting the chances as much as I'm serving. I'm being served as much as I'm serving. So this was the second governmental organization that I was working for, TE-live, where I produced 8 episodes, but still interviewed 16 people. You see Ricardo here, the next speaker here also. And then it was surprising because TE-live's videos usually got 200 or 300 views per each video, but then my videos got again a huge publicity. It was 61,000 views, 30,000 views, 27,000 views, again 30. So on average, 30,000 views per each video. It worked quite well. I even had to sit with people from Ministry of Employment and Economic Affairs of Finland and discuss about the project and then share on LinkedIn again. After that, I gained national recognition, and I was invited at a major governmental event by the Ministry of Employment and Economic Affairs called as Talent Boost Summit as the speaker. And it was the first time I was talking live in front of around 1,000 people. My voice was shaking very badly. I don't know if this plays or not, but yes, very short video from that event that was in Vasa. Place where I got to meet with people and network with people that I couldn't even imagine. So I broadened my network from North Savo to whole Finland. And because of this project success, I was more seen. And then Savonia photo shooting came up, and then they asked me to be on the Savonia's photo shooting. Then I was also at the school's pictures, as you can see there. So I was everywhere. My videos were everywhere. I was invited as a speaker to different places. Now the school got the tea. So like I was trying my best to, kick the ego and keep saying that it's not about me. I'm being served as long as I'm serving. So Jon Blomberg was the person who gave me the opportunity, who had been my mentor at Ely-keskus and always had my back. And when I read this comment of his on my LinkedIn post, it is one of those milestones that I always feel proud, because the person who gave me the chance wrote for me that I'm proud of you, you've done a great job and achieved a lot in a short time. I still remember our first meeting when I decided to offer you an internship. And because I love pizza, he mentioned the pizza. He knew how to motivate me. Pizza was the only thing. You can say yes. So from Kuopio to nationwide recognition, then I received invites, as I told you, for different events. But the most important thing is that I continued working for Live for almost at the end of the contract, it was 2 years until 2024, until 5 months ago, on 2 more projects. So then again, as you can imagine, I got more networking, more trust. Because now the people I was building the connection now, they knew me, they knew how I work, and now they trusted me even more. So we can see, we can go through the pictures as I'm saying, but this Northern Dream Makers project opened many doors for me, because then I had to sit with entrepreneurs, talk with them, make this content for internationals who want to be entrepreneurs in Finland. I kept on going until at the end of these 2 years at Live, I was left up with 10,000 followers on LinkedIn. Remember, 2 years before I started with 30 people, but I kept talking, kept posting, and then I didn't care what people talk behind me or what think of me. I just wanted to be my real me. If they want to laugh at me, let them. If they want to be inspired, let them. If they hate me, let them. But what I care about is that I want to help international talents. I want my work impact international talents. And remember, I was a student when I got the professional contract after the first internship with Live. So I was already working on a professional contract while I was a student. So this mindset that I have to get the degree and after that go to the job market was not true. And that's the proof. Anyhow, so if I want to go with a wrap up on the timeline, 2020 was the darkest time. Because I had no idea, I didn't know what to do. I was, in Iran, I was an English teacher, and from teaching at the schools, I was cleaning the school's toilet. So like, it was hard for me to go from a good career to start from zero. So it was my darkest times, and I had to figure out everything. I had to learn, but then from 2022 to 2024, it was my brightest time. And then 2024 was the leveling up time. I moved to Kuopio, studied the challenges, the work, networking, personal branding. And remember, this personal branding was not planned at all. It was built up just like you build a house, layer by layer. And being yourself, authentic. Not acting to be someone else. I graduated in 2023, and I still kept on working, studying networking and personal branding. And then, work, networking, unemployment, personal brand, and new job. I thought that with the CV that I'm making, with the references and the recommendations I'm getting, with those connections, I won't end up unemployed after my projects, but I actually did. I faced a lot of rejections. So after my contract ended with TE, after 2 years, I said that, okay, I postponed my burnout. So now I have to take 1 or 2 months to relax, and then I will look for a job. 2 months, I got my mental health back. I faced the rejection, my mental health went so down. So with so many rejections, I doubt my skills. I doubt myself for it, despite achievements. And now I wasn't sure anymore that what am I doing, what I'm gonna do. And this was the hardest moments of my time, until my mentor said that, because, before I say this sentence, you might already read it, but I will just say something. This humbleness, really, I believed in it, and then it went through me. So whoever asked me to talk about how you did it, I said I was at the right place at the right time. So it wasn't about me. And then my mentor said, you earned it. Because the doors opened because you also were the right person, not just lucky. So also another mentor of mine, Johanna Pansar, who I really owe, because she helped me during this darkest time of unemployment as well. She wrote for me, because I have interviewed her in one of the production, episodes. He said, I don't know you very well, Roham, but from this distance you come across as someone who is competent, able and willing to learn, with great sense of humor, flexibility, and gets along with people. You were great in encouraging me in our recent project together. You showed patience, blah, blah, blah. I have met, coached, and worked with many directors and executives with fancy titles, and many of them have insecurities and doubts about their competency. So I'm just mentioning this because many of us in this room might have this insecurity as well. So trust me, even those who have achieved something or overachievers feel this insecurity as well. And of course, you have met people who have helped you and supported you along the way. We all have those people, but you know what? They wouldn't have helped you if they didn't see your potential and all the great qualities you have. So she also mentioned what my mentor said. I started to feel better and ignore all these negative self-talks. Personal branding again here. I said, why am I only sharing about the success stories that I'm achieving? Why am I only sharing about the good things that is being done and I'm trying to be a part of it? Why not show my weakness? So then I started sharing my struggles and failures openly on LinkedIn to show other internationals that even I, after these experiences that I had with these connections, even I might find it hard sometimes to find an employment, and I share it. But I knew that I have one duty, because when I used to talk with many immigrants, I was hearing so much of negative feedbacks. They were so focused on the negativity, because when internationals mostly sit all together, the talkings are more discouraging than encouraging. You would hear that, yeah, I have applied for 200 jobs and I couldn't get them. And then when you have an indirect experience, you apply for 20 jobs and you don't get the jobs, and you take it as a fact and you don't try more. Not all of you, but in most cases. So I thought that it's best if I share it, and if at the end of the day I could get the job, it would also be encouraging for other internationals. So we have reviewed your application and we are impressed with your qualification and experiences. And then after that, it comes with this, that unfortunately we didn't decide to continue with you. So much of these kind of messages. But then I kept saying, I never give up. I never give up. I will either build a way or find one, or vice versa. And then I tried to steal in my message, even though I was depressed and doubting and so forth, I was trying to say to everyone out there facing similar struggles, remember, every rejection is a stepping stone, every failure a lesson. Keep pushing forward and never lose sight of your dreams. We are capable of more than we can imagine. So I had this thing that, again, in personal branding, that if I keep discouraging, it doesn't send a good signal, and it will be only discouraging others. So I have to show the failures, but also I have to encourage that I'm not going to give up. Only 47, 48 people, liked it, but 5,900 people saw it. Do you have any idea 5,900 people see what you're saying looks like? It looks like this. It's actually 2,000 for your information. And imagine 2,000 people look at what you're saying. They might not like it, they might not engage, but they are seeing what you're saying, what you're doing, and you're being seen. So that's the most important, to always remember that what you are sharing might affect people, either it's discouraging or encouraging. So, from failures, from weakness to leveling up. I shared my financial struggle on LinkedIn for support, because that 2 months to get out of this postponed burnout, I had to use from my savings. The next 2 months that I couldn't find a job, again from my savings, and then I opened the wallet and see, not much left. So I only had 2 more months left. And if I couldn't find a job, I couldn't afford to stay in Finland. And I really mean it. And I shared it. And a massive support was there. So, again, the mentor of mine said that, hey, this support was not again luck. You have been posting for 3 years. And now you engage with people, you helped people also. And now, after these 3 years, people are supporting you. So, yeah, of course, I was also invited to a job fair event as a keynote speaker and got interviewed by the national radio and so forth. And again, in that radio, I didn't talk about myself. I talked about the fact that international employees are being seen as stereotypes. If they make a mistake, all international have made a mistake. If a Finn does the same mistake, they say only this one person was like that, not all Finns. So it was mostly based on a research that I shared on this interview, which you know, of course, both internationals and both Finnish and native employers have to do, you know, something to overcome these challenges. Anyhow, that's not the point. About the post, I must leave Finland if I don't find an employment within the next 2 months. I shared this. 195,000 people saw it. 1,700 engaged with it, with the reaction, 175 comments, 67 reposts. And people actually were reflecting on what personal brand I was making. I know you really want to stay loyal to North Seoul, but join to this region, you might have a lot of offer. It could offer you a lot career-wise. Or like another person, Laura Koivisto, has said that Roham has been a great ambassador for Kuopio region and its educational institution. Don't let him move away. People have started to somewhere, oh my God, this is really insane how our country works. You have given so much to this society. I can't believe this is happening. Or I have seen some of your work and I think your work speaks for itself. So much of support that was heartwarming for a person who was very depressed and was doubting his skills. The next chapter is that after that post, 2 weeks after that post, I got 3 job offers. I didn't apply to them. I chose the most suitable one at tech class, and I had to leave Kuopio. So I left Kuopio and I started fresh in Helsinki at the new company. That's the private sector I mentioned in the beginning. And I kept on reflecting on the journey from uncertainty to stability on LinkedIn. So, there are some key takeaways. Networking, build actual connections. Build the trust. Be humble and stay humble. And don't ever give up. These 4 are the most important things that helped me throughout my journey and throughout my personal branding with whatever I was sharing on social media, mainly on LinkedIn. So, as the ending sentence, because I know I've talked too much. I usually talk too much. But anyhow, where there is will, there is a way. So I hope that this presentation could have helped you at least a bit. Thank you. I think we have this. Thank you. It's not about me. So, is there also a question and answer? I wanted to ask, yeah, if anyone has any question, I would be happy to answer. Sure. Please, okay. Ladies first, so Sari Morko, please. Well, I'm a community outreach and marketing coordinator. Yeah. Yeah, it's relevant to business administration studies as a community outreach and also marketing coordinator. So it's all about the degree that I had, but also mostly because of my abilities to make connections and building communities based on my previous jobs. So it's quite relevant to previous experience and the degree. Sure, sure. During the event, we have this opportunity to discuss. So definitely, I would be happy to discuss and see what I can help with. Sure, sure. Marco.
I don't know at what point you started sending application outside of Malekzadehbagheri, but I think I can understand that your goal was to stay there, because that's right. You started your journey, very inspiring, and then you proved yourself, your commitment to the region, to the city, in just a few years. So at what point you started applying for position outside Malekzadehbagheri? Because for as much as inspiring as your story, in the end, you left the region.
Yeah.
You had to leave the region.
Yes.
It's not a choice. You wanted to stay.
Yes.
And while it's a success story for you, it's a bit of a failure for the region who have lost the talent like you. So my understanding, my question is, I'm trying to understand at what point you realize that, okay, I'm not going to be able to stay here. I need to expand my horizon. And how many applications you have to send outside of Finland before you got the final offers from the first?
Yeah. So let me tell you from this perspective. From economical situation, now we are in a recession. Not in Finland, in the whole world, this recession is coming. So many companies are downsizing rather than recruiting. So it's understandable that I couldn't land the jobs because the recruitment and the labor market is actually not really well, not in the whole Europe or like even globally. So that's understanding. And then we have to also take into consideration my weaknesses, that I didn't know the Finnish language. My Finnish language, I wasn't competent in this language, and my field of work, especially in this region, I have to be able to speak it so that I can work with the customers and so forth. So I take the blame on the economy and my lack of competitiveness in these two things, which are very important, as I mentioned. And the third thing that I can say is that how can I say it? My state of mental health and mental capacity was also another reason that I couldn't do the 100% that I could do, to do the ground research, to try to go and knock the doors that much. I had this trying, because I was a media producer for 2 years, and that means like project manager. So, but I couldn't understand that. Okay, I'm a fresh graduate still, and I only have 2 years of project manager experience. So I kept on sending application for the same positions. So it was my misunderstanding of my competence based on the, when someone is reading the CV. So like I should have gone for coordinator jobs rather than a project manager. So like I would like to say it's not a failure on the region, it's mostly on me, myself, and maybe, of course, it's a two-way road. Therefore that's how I see it, at least. But definitely, I would have loved to stay. I have left, but it doesn't mean that. Like I always say, I felt home here, and when I wanted to leave, it was very heartbreaking for me, because I wanted to make this personal image that international students could stay committed to the region they get graduated from. And I couldn't keep it. So it was very sad for me as well. But I'm sure that as soon as I get an opportunity to come back, I wouldn't even, have a second thought. That's the truth. Any other question? No question on burnout? So.
Why does it look like I have burnout?
No. You were surprised, and that was just a joke, yeah.
I'm very expressive. What the kind? Sorry, I just forgot the question. Anyway, I noticed your network came from the LinkedIn, in my understanding, right?
Yes.
But for example, what if someone doesn't share that much in LinkedIn, they're shy or whatever reason? Do you have any other ideas where they could get the networking? Like you said, if you send one application among 100, they're going to. So how do you get the person to say, hey, that one is good, I trust
Mhm. Good question. Well, I know that introverts and extroverts have got different approaches, but I myself would not be able to share on LinkedIn if I didn't have a reason to talk. And that's why I thought, okay, this internship is working well because it gives me a reason to share and talk. But still, it doesn't mean that everyone has to go this way, because it worked for me, maybe it doesn't work for someone else. Therefore, now you and I are talking. Imagine in this event, we get to talk to different people. Now we know each other, so we can get connected on LinkedIn. Then later on, maybe you share on LinkedIn that, hey, I'm open to this position, and then I would repost it. Or like I would write a comment that, hey, I have discussed with this person, and she is quite an enthusiastic person to, pursue this. And people might see it again from that post. So what I'm trying to say is that it's all about try to get into hear what people are interested. Like here you ask me, okay, what are you interested about? Or what are you passionate about? And then I ask the same from you. Now we are connected. We exchange LinkedIn. And that goes on with different people. The second is that you get a reason to speak based on your work, based on your experience, based on whatever you want to shout out from. And then that's how it can go little by little in that perspective. Did I answer your question to some extent? We can discuss more and I can think more, so maybe I can answer it better even with that. Yeah, thank you. Any more? Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay. Oh yes, thank you.